The show begins, and we see a young man named Nakano who works as a programmer at a large company in Tokyo. He is a very hardworking and often works overtime to complete company projects. All this extra work has its toll on him and makes Nakano exhausted, and he lacks energy. Because of all the fatigue and exhaustion, a dark aura starts to surround his body. Sora, a holy fox goddess, secretly observes Nakano's life and finds out about the black aura that seems to be occupying him. One of her subordinates volunteered to come down to Earth and help remove the black aura by pampering Nakano so that he can live with ease. That night, when the Nakano returns from a tiring day from work, he feels as if he might pass out. He reaches his apartment where he lived alone. While entering his apartment, he suddenly smelled the aroma of some delicious cooking. When he opened the door, he saw a little girl, half a fox, cooking in his apartment. At first, Nakano couldn't believe what he just saw, so he opened and closed the door multiple times to make sure that he wasn't hallucinating or dreaming. He thought maybe due to exhaustion, he is imagining this, so he slapped himself multiple times so that he can wake up from this hallucination. However, when the little girl approaches him and talks to him, Nakano realizes that this little fox girl is actually a real person. He laughs a bit, but then a thought crosses his mind that he might be arrested and shown on national television as a child abuser or as a kidnapper, as he can't have an underage girl all alone with him. So Nakano immediately took the little girl out, but the fox girl miraculously passes through the door and into his apartment. This astonishes Nakano, and he dwindles on the thought about what just happened. The fox girl then asked him to eat the delicious dish that she had prepared for Nakano, and because he felt sorry, he ate the food to make up for his actions, but unexpectedly, the dish that the fox girl has made was delicious. It was so good that Nakano started to reminisce about the dishes that his parents made when he was a kid. As he was enjoying the meal, the girl introduced herself as Senko and explained that she was one of the 800-year-old sacred fox who had been sent by the fox goddess to help him. She further explained that her job is to help and comfort Nakano, who has been feeling tired lately due to the excessive workload. At first, Nakano felt awkward and doubtful from the fear of troubling Senko, but she suggested that even should be spoiled every once in a while. Hearing this, he asked for permission to allow him to hold her very soft tail, and she allowed it. After Nakano held Senko's soft tail, and he immediately felt so happy that the dark aura around him slowly began to fade away. While he was fast asleep on her lap, Nakano dreamed about an incident in his childhood, when someone who looked like Senko helped him. In the dream, he was lost in the forest, but a person like Senko helped him find his grandmother. After waking up, he begins to suspect that they may have met before, but she immediately denies that it wasn't her. The next day, Nakano woke up feeling lethargic and super tired because he had very little sleep. He didn't even have time to eat the breakfast that Senko had prepared because he had to catch the train before it was too late. After Nakano left for work, Senko started cleaning up his house and drying his mattress so he could sleep comfortably. She completes all household chores with great care, from washing dishes, cleaning, mopping the house, and washing clothes. She gets all the food ready so that Nakano can eat as soon as he returns. In the evening, when Nakano comes home from work, Senko immediately greeted him with a smile and invited him to have dinner together with the delicious dishes that she had prepared. After eating and cleaning up, Nakano tells her about his day and that how he was scolded by his boss while working in the office for being lazy, even though he used to stay late to finish projects. Hearing this, Senko offered him to lie on her lap so he could relax. She also started cleaning his ears, which were itching, so he could feel more relaxed and better. He was refreshed and was smiling. After that, he asked permission to touch Senko's cute ears, as he thinks that her ears are adorable. She felt shy, but she had to obey his requests and let him touch her ears. Senko feels shy and blushes as this amuses her, but she tries to control herself. Nakano tickles her ears, which make her even more amused. Shortly after, Senko asked Nakano to go to bed early so that he could get enough sleep and have enough energy to work tomorrow. He explained that he had insomnia, which was severe enough that he had difficulty falling asleep early and often had sleepless nights, but then Senko explained that she had dried his mattress so that he could sleep more comfortably and soundly. However, he still has trouble sleeping, so Senko decides to accompany him to sleep on the bed while pampering him with her tail. The next morning, Nakano woke up refreshed and had enough time to eat the breakfast that Senko had prepared. During the weekend, when Nakano does not have to go to work, he stays at home to play games, so he invites Senko to play some console games together in their fun. Nakano and Senko both enjoy a lot and are creating noise which accidentally annoys a girl who lives next door to his apartment. The girl, named Konji, then decided to go to his room and reprimand him about the noise that they were making, but because Nakano didn't answer, She immediately opened the unlocked door of his apartment and saw him chasing Senko's tail. When Konji saw this, she thought he was trying to use a child, so she immediately called the police wanting to report such a crime and not even giving Nakano the chance to explain. Fortunately, Senko immediately stopped it and explained that she was not a child but a holy fox who was hundreds of years old. Oddly enough, Konji immediately believed her words without asking for any proof and then protested Nakano not to make noise because it disturbed her as she is working from home. In order to calm Konji, who was so upset, Senko offered her some delicious dishes and she immediately accepted the offer. Konji, who happened to have not eaten for 2 days, immediately ate her food very voraciously and happily. Senko promises to give Konji some of her food on the condition that she must forgive Nakano even if she hears a noise from his room. She agreed and asked Senko to pose because she thought Senko was a girl, cosplaying N9 characters because of her dress. In the afternoon, when Senko was about to cook, she realized that the ingredients in the refrigerator had run out, so she intended to go shopping for food, but Nakano, thinking that she should not go out alone, immediately offered to come along while giving her a hat and jacket to cover her true identity. He worries that people will realize she is a half-fox human and may get weird ideas, so he offers to accompany Senko to buy the groceries. Senko was very happy when they arrived at the supermarket because she had never seen such a place that has everything. She was so happy that she could get all kinds of groceries in one place. Nakano just realized that he can enjoy small things like shopping together with Senko, which made him happy. So from now on, he plans to always accompany her to go shopping every week, even for the smallest of things. A few days later, Nakano came home from work in a very lethargic state, with even more dark aura than usual. It turns out that he has to go to work on Sunday tomorrow to complete an unfinished project, which made him sad as his only weekend off is now wasted as well. He asked Senko to wake him up tomorrow morning so he wouldn't be late for work as he had to complete the project before the deadline. Nakano looks very tired and immediately falls asleep, so Senko decided to sleep beside him while giving him her tail so that he could sleep more soundly. The next morning, Senko wakes up early so she can prepare breakfast and wakes Nakano. However, when she tries to wake him, Nakano looks super tired and struggles to wake up from his sleep. She thinks that he always works hard and has been exhausted all week. She decides to let him sleep longer and spoils him by letting him skip work, as even he deserves some break. In the afternoon, when Nakano wakes up, he realizes he was late for work and gets sad again that tomorrow he will have to work overtime to compensate the work that he missed today. On the next night in the sky world, another holy fox girl named Shiro, who is watching his life, intends to descend to Earth and accompany Senko, as well as she is amused by Nakano as well. So the next day, when Nakano is about to go home by train, he remembers his previous life before Senko, which was full of misery, loneliness, and how he had no one to come home to. He smiles and feels glad that this has slowly changed since Senko's arrival. He feels very grateful that she has helped him have a better life. When he arrived at his apartment, Nakano was surprised by the arrival of Shiro, who suddenly appeared at his apartment, but in the end he got used to it. While having dinner with them, his attention shifted towards Shiro's white tail. Shiro, who realized this, immediately approached Nakano and asked him to stroke her head. Senko, who saw the incident, was also interested in being pampered like Shiro, so she immediately goes forward as well to be pampered. Nakano starts to stroke their heads at the same time. After that, Shiro hypnotizes him with her powers to find out what he really wants, and apparently he wanted to touch Shiro's soft tail. Shiro became embarrassed and fled from Nakano's room as she was very shy to let anyone touch her tail. Seeing that Shiro ran away, Senko offered Nakano her tail as comfort. Nakano played with her tail, which was soft as ever. Next day, Nakano come home looked very tired, even tired than usual because he had just worked overtime. So Senko advises him to clean his body so that he could fall asleep immediately. She tells him that a quick bath will relax him and he can rest easy after that. Senko offers to help Nanako bathe. He is very weak, so Senko took the initiative to bathe with him and help him clean his body so that all his dark aura disappears. The next day, when Nakano was off from work, Shiro returns to visit his house. He invites her to play a console game together unexpectedly. She can easily win the game. It turns out that she can master any game and defeat him because she can use her power to read his mind. This makes Nakano feel as if she cheated. On another day, Senko comes to Konji's apartment to give her some food while chatting for a while. She enters her room and sees that her room is a mess. She gets fired up and takes the initiative to help clean her room while she ate. Konji enjoys her cooking, and as a thanks, Konji gives Senko a maid costume that she used to cosplay anime characters. When Nakano came home, he was surprised by Senko's new appearance, who had changed into a very cute maid. He He finds her to be cute, but Nakano confesses to her that he prefers her previous appearance because he is as used to her appearance. Senko feels appreciated and changes back to her old kimono. At night, when Senko and Nakano were having dinner together, Nakano suddenly felt pain in his back because earlier in the office he was working and had to carry a heavy object that may have caused some back problems. Senko understands and offers to massage his back using her legs so that he could relax and the pain could be reduced. Although at first he initially felt awkward, Nakano finally agreed. Senko massages his back using her feet and makes sure that he is at ease. As she walks up and down his back, Nakano feels relaxed and dozes off. The next day, when Nakano was about to go home from work after another tiring day, out of the blue one of his coworkers asked him to rearrange their project data as it was due in the morning. He humbly requests him to do this for him. Nakano, who is good guy, doesn't say no and starts working again. This made him work till late at night, and as a result, he accidentally misses the last train and is forced to return to the office to spend the night there. But on the way to the office, he meets Shiro, who was just randomly there waiting for him. Seeing that Nakano was tired, she said that she would help him get home. So Shiro opened the sky world that can be used to travel to various places, and she connects to a portal near his apartment. On the way home, she tells Nakano that Senko wants to take care of him because Senko used to take care of Shiro's ancestors, and maybe she feels it is her solemn duty to look after their relatives. Nanako admits that he doesn't really care about Senko's reasons for taking care of him because Senko's presence has changed his life. He further explains how joyous his life has become. When Nakano arrived at the apartment, Senko immediately realized that he had previously met another holy fox, as he gave off a scent, but she didn't mind and immediately invited him to have dinner together. During summer vacation, Nakano is excited. As he can finally rest, he only gets a few days off at that time, so he would only spend time at home. He and Senko both enjoyed a bit of time at home, but that peace didn't last long as when Shiro came and took them to the beach using the sky portal. Shiro deliberately invited Konji to come on vacation with them so that their vacation would be more lively and fun. That day, Konji and Shiro enjoyed their vacation by swimming at the beach in their floaties, while Nakano and Senko preferred to sunbathe while enjoying some watermelon. They both stayed under the shade and enjoyed the view. After that, all four of them played volleyball in pairs with Senko and Nakano, with Shiro and Konji. Enjoying their quick beach vacation, they came back happily. All of them become closer, especially Nakano and Senko's relationship. In the afternoon, Nakano and the others enjoyed a delicious barbecue meal, and they played fireworks together near the beach among the rocks. In the evening, unknown to them, Sora is quietly watching all of them from afar as if she was plotting something. She is tempted towards Nakano. One day, when Nakano is about to go to work, he is tempted by a food advertisement on television, which makes his mouth water up. He leaves thinking about the tasty dish, and Senko, who had noticed it, intends to cook the meal for him. She went to Konji's apartment and asked for help cooking the food advertised on television. After hours of preparing the ingredients and bringing them to a boil, Senko had cut all the vegetables and made sure all the ingredients were set to make the perfect dish. The dish was finally done, and she rested easy. Shiro, who often happened to stop by Konji's room, also tasted the food with Konji and Senko. It was delicious, and now Senko wanted Nakano to come and taste it. After cleaning all of the mess at Konji's place, Senko brought some food to the apartment so that Nakano could enjoy it. In addition, she also added a little homemade food to the dish so that he could still taste her specialty. Nakano enjoys the food and loves that Senko took out the time to make him such a great dish for him. Later, as time passes, when the weather is very hot, Senko takes the initiative to cut Nakano's hair so that his appearance looks neater and so that he doesn't sweat easily. After getting the desired hairstyle, she also cleans his hair carefully to make him feel very happy. When winter comes and it starts to snow heavily, that Senko advises Nakano not to go to work, however, because he still hasn't received a vacation notice from the head of the office, so he can't just skip work. He still forces himself to go to work and is sad that even today is gonna be tiring. Fortunately, before Nakano arrived at the station, he got a message from the office that his work for that day was closed due to heavy snow. Before returning to the apartment, Senko invites him for a snowball fight together, and in the end they throw snowballs at each other like little kids. Even this slowly makes Nanako feel better and better as he can call someone his friend, who is always around. After that, she pampers Nakano by allowing him to warm his hands with her tail, as Nakano's hands were cold because of the snow. Although in the end it makes her have a fever and she had to rest for a while. Luckily, she recovered quickly after warming herself up under the heating tables. Nakano joins and warms his hand with her tail as Senko recovers from her fever. Shortly after that, Sora came to Nakano's apartment to seduce him with her very curves, but oddly enough, he was only tempted to hold her tails, which were different than Senko's. But when he was about to hold Sora's tail, Senko immediately stalked him and warned him to stay away from her because she was a very dangerous fox goddess. Before Sora left Nakano's apartment, she was devious in her ways, and she whispered that he had to be careful because bad things would happen. After Sora left, he accused Senko of being jealous of her, but Senko immediately denied it and said that Sora was a very dangerous person. The next day, when Senko opened her bag, she saw the flower chain Nakano had given as an offering when he was a kid. It turns out she is indeed the one who once helped him when he was lost in the middle of the forest. She is glad that she could help him then and even now. At that time, he would pray to the fox goddess to help him, and Senko heard him and helped him when he was young. In the evening, when Nakano comes home from work, Senko surprises him with a sudden change in the room's atmosphere. She had prepared a lot of sake for them to drink together, while discussing their plans for the spring. She invited Nakano to see the cherry blossoms blooming in spring, and he immediately agreed to the invitation because he had not seen this beautiful sight for a long time. Nakano drinks several bottles of sake until he gets drunk and starts complaining about his heavy work because his boss keeps getting mad at him, and how even after giving so many hours and sleepless nights at his job, his boss still scolds him. He finally starts to get sleepy and fell fast asleep on Senko's soft tail. She laughs at how Nakano went from complaining to falling asleep. Senko also worries at the same time as she can still see the black aura on his body and wonders why the black aura hasn't disappeared. Senko can't understand why it is still there. At the same time, Sora and Shiro are seen watching Senko and Ensakano interactions through the magic portal. Shiro begins to miss Senko's cooking because she has been down to accompany Nakano for about a year, and until now she has not yet returned to the sky. The next day, Nakano came home from work and was all worried and sad at the same time, as he had not received word about the leave he had applied for. Nakano had applied for small leave so that he could go and watch the cherry blossom trees bloom with Senko and the others, but he had not received any confirmation. When he arrived at the apartment, Senko asked him to buy fried tofu at the supermarket before tomorrow morning for their picnic, and Nanako agreed that a lot of shopping had to be done. Unfortunately, the plan failed because the next morning Nakano received news from his mother that his father was getting sick. As a result, he had to cancel his plans with Sinlo and had to visit his old hometown for a while to take care of his parent. Nanako packs all his things and is ready to leave. Before he left, he gave his spare cell phone to Senko so he could contact her later when he returns. Nakano left while Senko started packing her things as well and prepared to go somewhere without the cell phone that Nakano had given her. Before Senko left, Konji had come to her room to give some food to her, and Konji asked where she was going, and Senko said she would only be gone for a while. On the other hand, Nakano is visiting his grandmother's grave to pay his last respects. Before he returns to Tokyo at that moment, he suddenly remembered the incident in the past when he was lost in the forest, and all the things he saw in his dream were in fact a reality. After realizing that the person who once helped him was actually Senko, he immediately rushed to contact her. However, because Senko had left the spare cell phone at home, Nakano wasn't able to contact her. Not long after, Nakano's office friend contacted him to return to Tokyo immediately and help complete an office project, as his boss was angry about his sudden absence. Hearing this, he was forced to return to Tokyo earlier than he had planned. While on the way to the apartment, Nakano thinks about how he can't wait to meet Senko and surprise her with his early arrival. But when he arrived at the apartment, he couldn't find anyone, and the spare cell phone that he had left for Senko was also lying on the table. He tries asking Konji about her whereabouts, but Konji also doesn't know where she went on. She explains that Senko had said that she will be back and had taken her stuff with her as well. On the other hand, we see Senko in the sky preparing food for Shiro, who already wanted to enjoy Senko's food. Before Senko returned to Earth, she asks Sora about Nakano's dark aura and why it had still not disappeared. Sora replied that these were the signs that Senko would never be able to remove the black aura from him, so she had to leave him and not return, as it was useless of her to continue to pamper him even after no results. At the same time, Nakano is out looking for Senko because he worries that something bad might happen to her. Feeling frantic and sad, he went to several places while it was raining. He even went to a temple and shouted her name repeatedly in the hope that she would return to him. Nakano remembered Sora's last message saying that soon something bad would happen to the two of them, and he thought that separation was what Sora meant. But not long after, Senko came to him along with the cherry blossoms. The trees start blooming, and at first he thought he would never see her again, but he felt relieved after she appeared. Senko then took Nakano to a nearby park to watch the cherry blossoms bloom while drinking sake. While having a drink together, he says he remembered the incident in his childhood and how Senko was the one who had came to help him to find his grandmother. She didn't respond but promised that she would always pamper Nakano until the last moment. Not long after, Shiro and Konji come to join them. Konji brought a laptop so they can watch their favorite anime together. They all enjoy, eat food and drink sake while watching the cherry trees bloom. They all are happy, especially Nakano, who tells that he never wants to be separated from Senko ever again. Senko agrees and the show comes to a close.